yes, our topic now is about customer service and behavior. So here are the learning outcomes. Ayan. So what are behavioral styles? So when you say behavioral styles, these are observable tendencies or actions that you can see or experience that you and other people exhibit when dealing with tasks or people. Also, as you grow from infancy, where your personality forms based on your experiences and your environment. So this form the basis of your behavioral style preferences. Okay, so ikaw, di ba? So tayo personally, no? Nagkaroon tayo ng, kumbaga, ng communication with someone or naka-encounter na tayo ng isang tao na parang ang hirap-hirap natin siyang masundo or parang ayaw natin sa kanya na we cannot explain why, no? Or meron ka naman ibang nakilala na parang pagkakilala mo pa na sa kanya, parang magaan na kagad yung pakiramdam mo, di ba? So, if, of course, we all experience that, no? And this is possibly, we are possibly experienced, no? And reacted to the effect of behavioral style, no? So, you, no, as a customer service professional, no, so you need to be aware that everyone is different. Okay, so not everyone behaves as you do, yet many still demonstrate behaviors that are similar to yours. Okay, for this reason, you should strive to provide service in a manner that addresses not only the behaviors that you prefer, okay, hindi lang kung ano yung kaparehas mo, no, but also those that fulfill the needs and desires of others as well. Okay, so part of being a customer service professional is that you need to understand human behavioral style characteristics. Okay, the more proficient you become at identifying your own behavioral characteristics and those of others, the better you will be at establishing and maintaining positive relationships with customers. Okay, of course, self-knowledge, no, is the starting point. Okay? Okay, so when dealing with your customers, those who are working in a customer service industry, you should recognize that someone else doing something or acting differently from the way you do doesn't mean that the person is wrong. Okay, so it simply means that they approach situations differently. So relationships are built on accepting the characteristics of others. Okay, syempre, no, in a customer service, no, adaptability is crucial. Okay, so for many people do not always act the way you want them to. No? So you really have to be adaptable. So identifying behavioral styles. So we have actually no many self-assessment questionnaires and much of the research related to behavioral styles are based on the work begun by the psychiatrist Carl Jung and others in the earlier part of the 20th century. Now, si Jung, he explored the human personality and behavior. So he divided behavior into two attitudes, no, the introvert and extrovert. So alin kayo dyan? No, and four functions, so the thinking, feeling, sensing, and intuitive. Okay, so these attitudes and functions can intermingle to form 8 psychological types. Okay, so the knowledge of these types is useful in defining and describing human behavioral characteristics. So meron akong ipapagawa activity dito. No, I'm sure, saglit na siya, mga 15 minutes, I'm sure you're going to enjoy that activity. Okay, I'll post it in your classroom. Okay, so from Joe's complex research, a lot of others, yung mga colleagues niya, have come many variations, no, additional studies, and a variety of behavioral styles, self-assessment questionnaires, and models for explaining personal behavior. Okay, examples of these questionnaires are the Myers-Briggs Type Indicator or MBTI, okay, and the Personal Profile System, DISC. So, ito ma-encounter nito pag nagkaroon ng mga psychological exam sa mga HR, no, sinaalagaan to companies. So, while these assessments are typically sold and administered by trained consultants, several organizations allow you to complete similar free surveys online. So, may mga company kasi class na meron silang ganitong klase na exam. Tapos yung bayad yun. Pero meron din naman, pag ikaw gusto mo personally malaman, meron din naman mga free online. Okay, so, okay, so although no, everyone typically has a primary behavior pattern, so when you say primary behavior pattern, no, it refers to a person's preferred style of dealing with others. No? So it is the way a person acts or reacts under certain circumstances, to which he or she reverts in stressful situations. People are a combination of various behavioral styles that they pull from a situation's change. Kasi diba kaya nga binanggit ko before sa mga previous discussions natin na you should be able to match the personality of the customer. No? Kung hugutin mo yon pag kailangan. No? So ayun, because of this, your customers have characteristics in common and regularly demonstrate similar behavioral patterns. So of course, identifying your own style preferences helps you understand and relate to behaviors in others. So ngayon, meron kayong gagawin, no, yung activity. So, alamin nyo kung ano kayo sa apat na klaseng yun. So, parang ano naman siya, hindi naman siya talaga validated klase ng behavioral survey, but at least meron kayong indication, no, of your behavioral preferences, no, in dealing with others. Okay, so yan, sabi dito, no, we have people, no, are a combination of various behavioral styles, no? So, lalo sa customer service industry, but marami, no, may mga huhugutin kayo based on the type of customer you are dealing with. Okay, so there's no best or worst style. Okay, so pagsasamahan niyo yan, wala namang best or worst yan. So each person should be valued for his or her strengths and not belittled because of what you perceive as shortcomings. Okay, so sa customer environment, no, each contact with the customer has the potential for contributing to your success and that of your organization. So you have to appreciate the behavioral characteristics of people with whom you interact. So you can avoid bias or prejudice and better serve your customers. And so, may ipopost ako na activity sa classroom. Pero mag-enjoy kayo. So, what are ayan, ito yung gagawin nyo, no? The different behavioral styles. Identifying your behavioral styles. Okay, so we have, ayan. So, kaya meron tayong mga assessment questionnaire, no, para ma-discover niyo yung sarili ninyong behavioral tendency in a variety of situations. That's excuse lang ha, I'll post my So, what are the different behavioral styles? We have rational. So, ito mga rational na tao. So, one of the four behavioral groups characterized as being quiet, reflective, task-focused, and systematic. No? So, yung mga rational na tao, they listen and observe more than they talk, especially in groups. So, they tend to be very patient. They wait or stand in one place for periods of time without complaining. Although they may be internally irritated. Ayan, minsan ganyan ako class, no? Yung hindi ako nagrereklamo pero sa loob-loob ko naiinis na ako, no? About a breakdown in the system or lack of organization. Exhibit congenial eye contact and facial expressions. Prefer one-on-one or small group interactions over large group ones. Actually, parang ito ako. So, seek a specific or complete explanations to questions. Example, that's our policy or does not work well with an our customer. So, ang mga our customer, they seek specific or complete explanations to questions. So, they dislike calling attention to themselves or a situation. They avoid conflict and anger. They often wear subdued colors and informal, conservative, or conventional clothing styles and accessories. Yung mga conventional lang, hindi masyado, simple lang. Ask questions rather than state their opinion. They communicate more in writing and like the use of notes, birthday cards, or thank you cards just to stay in touch. No, they like to be on a first name basis with others. They have intermittent eye contact with a brief business-like handshake. And they have informal, comfortable office spaces, possibly with pictures of family and in view. And they like leisure activities that involve people, often family. Actually, parang sino dito ang R, no? So you have to listen to the descriptions or ayan, na characteristics of a rational behavioral style. Next, inquisitive. Inquisitive naman, they are characterized as being introverted, task-focused, and detail-oriented. So, yung mga people na who have a preference for the inquisitive style may tend to rarely volunteer feelings freely. They ask specific pertinent questions rather than make statements. Parang may similarity sila ni rational. They rely heavily on facts, at times, dates, and practical information to make their point. They prefer to interact in writing rather than in person or on the phone. They prefer formality and distance in interactions. They often lean back when talking, even when emphasizing key points. They use formal titles and last names as opposed to first names. So, ito naman baliktad ni Rational. Si Rational kasi first name. They may also stress the use of full names, not nicknames. Example, Cynthia instead of Cindy or Charles instead of Chuck. They use full, brief handshakes, often without a smile. If they do smile, it may appear forced. Parang napilitan ng plastic na ngiti. They wear conservative clothing, although their accessories are matched well. They tend to be impeccable in their grooming but may differ in their choice of styles from those around them. Example, hair and makeup. Gusto nila naiiba sila, no? They tend to be very punctual and time conscious. They carry on lengthy conversations, especially when trying to get answers to questions. They tend to be diplomatic with others. And they prefer solitary leisure activities. Example, reading or listening to relaxing music. And they keep their personal life separate from business. Ayan po ang characteristics ni inquisitive. So, ayan, may similarity sila ni rational, no? May pagkakapareha sila sa ibang characteristics or sa ibang descriptions. And then, si decisive naman. So, si decisive, they are characterized as direct, no-nonsense approach to people and situations. Okay, and si decisive. So, si decisive, ano siya, no? They tend to move quickly, mabilis, no? Mabilis, no? Walang pa keme-keme, no? Walang maligoy-ligoy. They seek immediate gratification of needs or results. No, they work proactively toward a solution to a problem. They tend to be forceful and assertive in their approach, sometimes overly so. They project a competitive nature. They display a confident, possibly arrogant demeanor. May pagka, agresibo. They ask specific, direct questions and give short, straight answers. They discuss rather than right. Baliktad naman, opposite ni rational and inquisitive. Ito naman, mas gusto niyang i-voice out. No? Struggle call or come in rather than write about a complaint. They talk and interrupt more than listen. So, hindi sila good listeners. They display symbols of power to demonstrate their own importance. Example, they show their expensive jewelry, clothes, cars, power colors in business attire. No? So, pinapakita nila talaga no, na meron silang authority. They tend to be solemn and use close non-verbal body cues. And they have firm handshakes and strong direct eye contact. And they have functionally decorated offices. So all items have a purpose and are not there to make the environment more attractive. So kung ano yung purpose nung nando sa office nila. So hindi sila nagde-decorate. Hindi sila simple lang no kung ano yung magagamit ko sa opisina ko, yun lang yung i-display ko. Hindi sila nagde-decorate. So they prefer active, competitive, leisure activities. So ito mga pagka matatalino talaga itong mga to. And expressive. So yeah, so expressive, they are people-oriented, they are fun-loving, they are upbeat and extroverted. No? So ito yung syempre, mas ideal sa atin itong ganito, no? So people who have an expressive style tend to look for opportunities to socialize or talk with others. Example, sa mga checkout lines sa stores, bus stops, waiting areas, sila yung nag-i-initiate of conversation. They project a friendly, positive attitude. They are enthusiastic, even animated when talking, using wide, free-flowing gestures. Yan, sila masayahin. They use direct eye contact and enthusiastic, warm handshake, often two-handed handshake. They smile and use open body language. They get close or touch when speaking to someone. Yan, they talk rather than write. O ito na parehas din naman ni decisive. They also talk rather than write about something. Example, they just call or come in with a complaint rather than writing. They initiate projects. They wear bright, modern, or unusual clothes and jewelry because it gets them noticed or fits their mood. May tinatapatan, no? Pag malungkot sila, suot sila ng itim. Pag masaya, either yellow or pink or red. They dislike routine. Ayaw nila ng paulit-ulit. Share feelings and express opinions or ideas easily and readily. They get distracted in conversations and start discussing other issues. Ito yung pangit kay expressive. Gusto nila sila lang yung pinapakinggan. They prefer informal use of names and like first name communication. They tend not to be time conscious and often late for appointment. Pangit din pala. Speak loudly and expressively with a wide range of inflection, mataas ang energy. They like action-oriented, people-centered leisure activities. So, I hope na hindi kayo. Aling kayo dyan. Sa apat. Ako nang ginawa ko yung test. Parang lumabas ako inquisitive. Pero parang more on rational ako. Ayan. So, hindi na natin alam. So, ayan. So, dito sa, how you communicate with each style. So, ayan. Kasi di kay decisive ba't nandito tayo kay decisive? So, iba kasi yung slides na ito. So, kay decisive behavioral style, so people with the primary behavioral preference of decisive tend to be more formal and use direct statements and questions. So, ito yung kanina na gusto nila yung direct. Ayaw nila ng paligid-likod. So ikaw bilang customer service professional, how would you address a customer who exhibits these characteristics? Okay? So communicating with each style. Syempre, once you know someone's style, you can tailor your communication strategies. Okay, once you recognize a people's style tendency, you can improve your relationships and chances of success by tailoring your communication strategies. Okay, so keep in mind that these and other characteristics are only general in nature. So lahat naman tayo, we are a mixture of all four styles and it can change to a different style to address a variety of situation. No, kaya ang sinasabi ko na as a customer service professional, you should be able to match the behavioral style or the personality of the individual so that anytime that you interact with or encounter that person, you know when to kumbaga divert or parang somehow mamatch mo yung kanyang personality. Kaya sinabi, we are a mixture of all four styles. Okay? So, ayan. Siyempre, ikaw, no, let us also be careful not to label a person as being one style. For example, uh, si, sino ba, no, si Tony, no, is a high R or rational, no, since people use all four styles and most people do not appreciate stereotypes and labeling. No, meron tayong ganyan, usually nag-label tayo ng tao, stereotype tayo ng tao. Okay, so, ayan. So, ito yung how we can communicate with each style through non-verbal cues, so behavioral exhibited, non-verbal cues. Okay. So, ito yung mga cues na pwede natin, palatandaan, no? How can we communicate? Yan. So, this is actually behaviors exhibited, no? So, ayan siya, no? Basahin nyo na lang please. Natin siya iisa-isahin. So, ayan. Okay, so sa rational, no, for example, yan, ang behavior, non-verbal is gentle handshake, flowing, non-dramatic gestures, and fleeting eye contact. So anyway, basahin na lang, no? Ano yung pwede mong response sa provider? Okay, so, okay, so, ayan. Okay, siguro mag-post ako ng, dito, figure. And then, ayan. So, yun na natin babasahin lahat kasi mahaba siya masyado. No? So, actually, nandun yan doon sa book. No? Ayan, how you can communicate with each style. Okay, next is building a stronger relationship. Okay, so, syempre, recognizing and relating to customers' behavioral styles is just the first step, no, in providing better service. So, to deliver total customer satisfaction, you will need to make the customer feel special, no, which often requires skills, no, such as relationship building through effective communication, no, and problem solving. Whether a situation, no, involves simply answering a question, no, or guiding someone to a desired product or location or performing a service, or customers should leave the interaction feeling good about what they have experienced. Diba? We want our customers to leave satisfied. No? Providing this feeling is not only good for business sense on your part, no, but also it helps guarantee, no, that the customers return or spread favorable word of mouth to others. No, it is a free advertising. No? So there are many ways, no, of partnering with either internal or external customers to solve problems and produce a win-win situation. So one in which both the customer and you and your organization succeed and feel good about the outcome. So you know what is a problem solving. This is a systematic way of solving a problem or identifying issues. No, then determining alternatives and selecting and monitoring strategy. Then win-win situation, this is an outcome to a disagreement in which both parties walk away feeling that they got what they wanted or needed. Okay, so you see the win-win situation. So when you do to whatever you do to achieve this result, your customers should realize that you are their advocate, no? And you are acting in their best interest to solve their problems. Okay, yeah. So we have some suggestions for building customer relationships. Okay, no, so meron tayong sa behavioral style class. So may people they send verbal and non-verbal clues to their behavioral style preference. You have to study them. To observe their eye contact, observe your customer's eye contact, your level of directness or evasiveness, how quickly or slowly they speak, and their level of warmth versus formality. So once na-identify mo yun, nabasa mo yung mga clues na yun, you will be better able to individualize the customer service you can provide. Okay? So, ayun, pag nalaman mo na yun, you can work yung behavioral style mo, then na-identify mo yung iba't ibang klase ng behavioral style, pwede mo mai-apply na sa kanila, no? Pwede mo hugutin pag kailangan. Okay, so, syempre, ano ba yung mga suggestions? Syempre, you discover your customer needs. No? So, syempre, using sound listening and verbal and non-verbal communication skills, where you engage your customers in a dialogue, no, that allows them to identify what they really want or need. Now, if you can determine a customer's behavioral style, you can also tailor your communication strategy to that style. Okay, so keep in mind that some customer needs may not be expressed aloud. Okay, so in this kind of instances, you should attempt to validate your impressions or suspicions by asking again questions or requesting feedback. Kaya nga really have to gather information. We have to probe, we have to ask questions in order to extract more information from our customers. No? So, naalam natin sila, no? Ino-observe natin sila maigi yung kanila non-verbal expression, vocal qualities, emotional state, no? And you also look for a sign that will help identify his or her primary behavioral style preference. Okay, and as say yes. No, if you must decline a request or you cannot provide a product or service to that customer, you should do so in a positive manner. No, de-emphasize what you cannot do and providing an alternative class of wherein you are putting the customer still in a power position. You cannot provide but you still provide alternatives na ilalagay niyo pa sila sila pa rin yung may control. Okay, so that is even though she may not get her first request, she is once again in control because she can say yes or no to the alternative you have offered, or she can decide on the next step. Okay, so offer alternatives kapag hindi kaya ibigay. Okay, and seek opportunities for service. No, so you view complaints as a chance to create a favorable impression by solving a problem. Now watch the behavioral characteristics being exhibited by your customer, and using what you see and hear, take appropriate action to adapt to the customer's personality needs and solve the problem professionally. So, yung mga complaint na yun kasi it's an opportunity for service. Kasi that way, pag nag-complain siya, mas makakapag-offer ka ng alternative, no? Mas mabibigyan mo siya ng chance or mabibigyan mo ng chance na magbigyan mo ng service ng mas okay. Okay, so next slide. So dito, ayan. Okay, focus on process improvement. No? So, alam mo niyo may mga customer, they do not like, lahat tayo, di ba, they do not being, we do not like being kept waiting. No? Ayun natin na nag-aantay. Okay? So, gusto natin, syempre, dapat para, we have to continually improve our service processes. Okay, and ayan, we should always try to provide seamless service. This means that when you say seamless service, class, it is a service that is done in a manner that seems effortless and natural to the customer. Parang hindi halatang parang yun na yun eh. Hindi na kailangan bang bigyan ng parang masyadong scripted or masyadong binibigyan ng effort. Parang natural na. Ito na yung kultura namin eh. So, ito na yung pinapakita namin. So, sa seamless service, yung mga processes and systems, they are fully functional, effective, and efficient. And yung mga service representative, they are well-trained and proficient in delivering service. And also, there is no inconvenience on the part of the customers. So, you should always do that. And we should, of course, always make our customers feel feel special. Okay, so let's balik tayo sa kanina sa seamless service. So meron kasi mga examples na how each style may react sa mga so yung mga R style customers are likely to complain in an offensive manner and they may even smile, but also may seek out a supervisor. And I-style individuals may seem to be patient and not say anything or cause a confrontation, but will possibly request directions to the supervisor's office. Pareha sila ni R. No? These style may get loud, aggressive, and vocal and demand a supervisor after only a brief delay. Masyadong to. And si expressive behavioral style may get upset that will often make the best of their time complaining to other customers and comparing notes on similar past experiences. Okay, so balik tayo dito. So, make customers feel special. Lahat naman tayo, no? Gusto natin, we feel special and appreciated. Okay, so creating that feeling in others is what the customer service is all about. So, we have to always make our customers feel special. Alam naman na natin yun as a customer service provider. So, be culturally aware, okay? So, the reality of a multicultural customer service environment further challenges your ability as a customer service professional to deal with behaviors. Okay, so yan, dapat culturally aware ka, inaaral mo yung mga kultura, hindi mo basta-basta, katulad ng sa, di ba, yung mga discussion natin sa verbal and non-verbal. Diba? Hindi lahat pwede sa isang kultura. Okay, so you have to, syempre, di ba na, yung mga nagtatrabaho dito, especially sa BPO, di ba, yung mga nakakausap nila, iba't ibang background, iba't ibang kultura. Okay, so dapat you have to be aware. No, you have to master that. Okay, so, yeah. And you, of course, you have to know your products and services. Okay, mga produkto at services, alam na alam, para pag nagtanong yung customer, alam mo kung ano yung isasagot mo. Okay, at makapag-offer ka ng better service. These are the strategies for responding to customer problems. Ito yung behavioral style, ito yung mga strategy kung paano. So, ayan, basahin nyo na lang yan, class. Okay, so, pwede nyo balikan to pag kayo ay nag-work na, kung kayo ay mag-work as customer service professional. So, yan. Okay, so, natin ito kanina, no? So, yan. Next, dealing with perceptions. So when you say perception, alam niyo naman ibig sabihin niya, no? This is how someone views an item, situation, or others. Okay, perception, lahat tayo may perception about a people or event, no? So, ayan. Okay, what are perceptions and stereotypes? So, people perceptions or events vary greatly as to their perceptions of each other. As a customer service provider, you should be aware of how you perceive your customers. Okay? So, and in turn, how they perceive you. So, when you say, ano naman ka, stereotype, this is a generalization made about an individual or group and not based on reality. Okay, so it could lead to legal charges of disparate treatment. Okay, so pag sinabi mo ano class disparate treatment, ito yung you deliberate discriminate, no? A term meaning deliberate discrimination against a person based on his or her age, sex, ethnicity, or ability level. Okay, so let us siyempre hindi natin maiwasan tuklasan yung dalawa. So there is some cases that we stereotype people, especially mga service providers. No? So, and if you do that, you adversely affect the delivery of services. Okay, so there are instances like factors that you might be tempted to project into an individual. Example, yung edad niya, gender, race, or ethnic background might actually stem from the person's behavioral style preference. Okay, so example class, so yung perception mo of older customers may be that they are all slow, they are hard of hearing, they are argumentative. Ganun naman matatanda, no? Disagreeable and politically conservative. Okay, so other than the physiological issues, you may be witnessing behavioral characteristics that they have likely displayed most of their life. So pag ganun, hindi naman lahat sila ganun. Okay, so may mga matatanda, they are very cowboy, open-minded, so hindi lahat. So pag tingin mo kasi doon, nag-i-stereotype ka na. Okay, so let us avoid that. So what are the factors affecting our perceptions? Okay, so ayan yung ating personal appearance. So how are our perceptions shaped with the customer service framework? So in essence, we have 6 categories that form the basis of many perception. Say personal appearance. No, ano ba yung itsura? Di ba madalas natin itong di ba? Pag depende sa itsura, yung mga pag pumapasok tayo minsan sa isang establishment, di ba? Hinuhusgahan na kagad tayo base sa ating kasuotan, sa ating grooming, itsura, no? Pag naka-chinelas or naka-gunit-gunit na damit, tingin na agad sa atin shoplifter, di ba? Minsan sa 7-Eleven, yung guard, pag hindi maayos yung suot mo, susundan ka na ng tingin, o susundan ka na kung saan ka pupunta, no? So, yan perception sa'yo, may gagawin ka hindi maganda. No, physical qualities. So, ano ba itsura ng tao? Anong gender? Anong shape ng katawan? Ayan, marami sa atin ngayon ng ganyan, ano? Color of skin. No? So, social roles. What is a person's position in society? What is that a person's job title, honors received? So, kaya nga yung iba, no, pag pumipirma ng mga forms, nilalagay nila kung ano yung kanilang profession para hindi sila ma-discriminate. No? So, social behaviors. How does this person act in terms of the behavioral style characteristics? What social skills does he or she exhibit in social and business settings? No? So, ayan. And psychological qualities. How does the person process information mentally? No? Is this person confident, stressed out, or insecure, paranoid, curious? And group affiliations. Does this person belong to a recognizable religious, ethnic, or political group? So, okay, so para maiwasan natin yung disparate treatment, iwasan natin na di-discriminate na tao. So, preconceived ideas? Okay, so many preconceived ideas about an individual and or group can lead to different or disparate treatment and poor service. Okay, so what preconceived ideas might affect how a server treats this group of diners? Ito na yung parang, ano yung paano mo sila iti-treat? Can lead to ano eh, di ba minsan pag meron tayo mga, yung grupo, diba, ng mga estudyante na kumakain kasi isang, let's say, ano ba, restaurant, no? Hindi naman siya yung fine dining, regular restaurant. No? So, ano yung, ano, yung parang iniisip ng, di ba, pag mga estudyante, iba yung minsan, ano eh, yung conception or yung, tawag dito, yung iniisip ng service provider, no? Iba yung kanya idea about this group of students na kumakain. So, it can lead to, ano, it can lead to discrimination and poor service. Kasi isip niya, estudyante lang naman to, no? Wala, so hindi mo naayusin yung treatment mo kasi estudyante lang naman itong mga to, ano naman to, hindi naman to order na marami, konti lang naman ang order nito. So, ayun. So, syempre, it can lead to discrimination. Whereas sa mga kumakain sa isang restaurant na, regular restaurant na, halimbawa, may taya, no, kaya maganda ang ano, parang medyo may posisyon, no, na, na conceive siya as something na may, someone na may position, whereas magkaiba agad yung treatment kumpara sa mga estudyante sa sa dining na yun na kumakain. So, magkaiba yung treatment sa kanila. No? Okay, so nadi-discriminate. Usually, mga estudyante nadi-discriminate sila, no? Sa pagpapasok ng mga mall, no? Ng mga, yan, no? O kaya mga grupo ng mga kabataan na kakain, no? Tapos iba yung nagiging treatment sa kanila, tingin sa kanila eh, walang pambayad, no? Kasi mga nag-aaral pa, no? So may mga ganun, actually, no? Okay, so, ayan. Okay, sige class, so that's the end of the chapter. And see you again on our next. Thank you for listening.